Hello out there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Creepier Features. Yes, I'm Bernard Bruhaha, and this here is a flaming banana. Not that I need to drink much before. Ooh, that's smooth. Not that I need to drink much more before watching this movie. Tonight you'll be watching probably the greatest movie ever made, as a TV movie of the week with an 18-day shooting schedule. I mean, it's not like Cecil B. DeMille or anything, but it's really quite good. I don't want to give too much of anything away about the plot. Let's just say this one has gargoyles in it. Well, let's get right to the cast of tonight's creepier characters. Cornell Wilde here plays Dr. Mercer Bowley. He was in Cecil B. DeMille's Greatest Show on Earth, but this is not that movie. He's probably best known today for The Naked Prey, which he starred in and he directed. He was once nominated for an Oscar, and later he developed an interest in directing movies. He even had his own production company for a while. Just before this movie, he co-wrote and directed No Blade of Grass, probably one of the most grim apocalypse movies from the whole decade of the 1970s, and well worth a watch if you really want to be depressed. I wish his autobiography had been published. I would love to see what he remembered about making this movie, Gargoyles, but unfortunately he died in 1989 and the book has never been published. Jennifer Salt plays his daughter, Diana Bowley. She played Hope in the movie Brewster McCloud for Robert Altman only a year or so before. She's probably best known for playing Eunice Tate on the sitcom Soap. Later, she went on to become a producer of television and produced a couple seasons of American Horror Story. Ooh, spooky. Oh, and Grayson Hall. You will remember her for playing Dr. Julia Hoffman on Dark Shadows. She plays Mrs. Parks, and she gets in a few interesting lines. She was once nominated for an Oscar for Night of the Iguana, but her acting career becomes sporadic after this movie. She died back in 1986. Woody Chambliss, or Chamblay, or Chambliss, I'm not really quite sure how you say his name, plays Uncle Willie in this movie. He did a ton of stuff from playing Woody Lathrop on Gunsmoke for about a year. To a starring role in the movie The Devil's Rain. Ooh, spooky. Also, he was in Glenn and Randa, where he played this old man who'd not met anyone in years and years after a nuclear war. Now I know where Logan's Run got the old man idea from. He was also Old Sergeant Pepper in the musical Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, but I remember him best from his guest spot on Logan's Run, the TV series, where he played Lab Tech 1. That was the name of the character, not the role he was playing, if you can dig that. Unfortunately, he died back in 1981. All right, Timothy Burns plays Morris Ray, who, at least in this movie, had a last name. He went on to become a story editor on several shows like Scarecrow and Mrs. King and Simon and Simon. He also wrote several scripts of his own for series like Outlaws. That was that short-lived time-traveling western show. And Legend, which was another sort of steampunky sci-fi western show. That one starred John Delancey and the guy who used to play MacGyver. I've forgotten his name right now. Anyhow, Bernie Casey, who plays the gargoyle who speaks, that is. All the other gargoyles were played by famous Hollywood stuntmen. Not trying to give too much away about the movie here, but he really doesn't speak. All his lines were dubbed over, except for one editing mistake where you can hear him saying Bowley in one later scene of the movie. This movie is his first sort of horror sci-fi acting job, but there would be tons more to follow for this man. He was in The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie. In the late 70s, The Martian Chronicles TV series, all three parts of that he was in. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, that's the first one. Deep Space Nine, Sequest 2032, Babylon 5, and probably some other stuff that also ends with numbers. His costume's actually pretty good, and his voice is dubbed over by Vic Perlin. Even with the dubbing of the voice, they do something to his voice to make it sound strange and otherworldly. Oh, spooky. Hmm. Vic is famous for doing voiceovers and narrating things. If you want to see Vic, you probably could go back to look at Rocky Jones' Space Ranger, where he played Agar. I think Miss MST3K made fun of some of those episodes he was in. Oh, yeah, and he was the Martian in that classic Twilight Zone episode, People Are Alike All Over. But mostly he did voices. We control the horizontal. We control the close up. We control the vertical. Yeah, he was the control voice in the Outer Limits. Yep. Oh, and he was also Dr. Zin's voice in the classic Johnny Quest series. Oh, and he narrated that 1,000,000 Years BC movie, because they don't have much dialogue in that one. Oh, and on Star Trek, he was the voice of the alien keeper in the Menagerie. You know, the one with the big head and the vessels that were like bulging out. Oh, and he was the voice of Metron. That was that rather weirdly dressed alien who shows up at the end of Kirk's battle with a Gorn and like talks to Kirk for a few seconds. Oh, and he was also the voice of Nomad. Sterilize, sterilize. Okay, let's get to the film.